Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you are watching this. Welcome to my full day of eating on 3,400 calories, peak off-season diet. So I'm going to be taking you through a day of training, a day of eating, as I say, showing you what I'm eating, why I'm eating it, and what the plans are from here, because prep starts pretty damn soon. Boy, that is some good water. Very, very good water. Washed down the nice oats breakfast that is well and truly gone. There's a bit of chocolate left there, we can't leave that. Very nice stuff. So, food right now is at 3,420 calories with 170 protein. We've bumped that up a little bit just because as the carbs get higher, the little bits of protein that are in them inflate the total number, and I don't want to start like reducing my amount of chicken or beef or whatever to tolerate that when we're already sort of at the amount that we need. And then fueling stuff with carbs from there. I'm at 550 carb and 65 fat, again for similar sort of reasons. The fats are just slowly going to creep up as the carbs increase as well. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to go and get a haircut because this is an absolute state. I need to sort it out. Well, I've got a bit of work to do first, but I will be handsome soon, and then life is good. P.S. If you are not watching Yellowstone already, or you haven't watched it, please watch it because it's so good. And anyone that has, let me know your favourite character because it's just such a sick show. Friday morning program updates are going down for the team. So we have just about got Cameron to the point where his body weight has come up 15 pounds or so over the last 30-ish weeks. He's put on a decent amount of size, condition has not faltered too much, and he wants to drop into another fat loss phase for summer. So we planned that out. I've adjusted his calories down about 800 or so, which should get him into a decent deficit, body weight moving along nicely. And then we've also made a few adjustments to expenditure just to get that moving down at a good pace as well. Then there's Kieran, who has been struggling a little bit with motivation recently in terms of getting to the gym. He's had a lot of life stuff go on recently, and I don't know many people that would be able to handle it half as well as he has. But even so, he's been finding the pressure to train and be like 100% on it as he's used to being for the last 30-something weeks that we've been working together. And Cameron's been working with me for like 80 at this point, so I must have some idea of what I'm doing. So we've just pulled that back a little bit, moving away from an upper-lower split, just going to full body 2 to 3 days a week. And one of the biggest things that I find for people that are struggling with motivation to get into the gym is actually removing that pressure to train, of saying, okay, if you want to train, go and train. Do that, okay? And within a couple of weeks, they're usually like, yeah, I'm buzzing, can we go back to upper lower? Or something like that there. We've also removed the pressure on nutrition. We're just focusing on, okay, can we get a good chunk of protein in each meal? Can we get some fruits? Can we get some veggies? That's cool. Let's not worry about tracking for a little while. I want him to be enjoying the process. And then when he's ready to dial things back in, get ready for his summer fat loss phase, then that is something that we will do. I'm going to have a sip of coffee and get started with all of this. The trim has been acquired. Life is good. I've had me pre-workout meal. Now sipping on this bad boy. So lipolytic, the Oxy Shred that I'm going to be shredded by the end of this video. That's just how it works. Basically starting prep early. Okay, sorry for the shaky cam there. So I've had my normal chicken mince, rice, veg, pineapple, all of that stuff. Bit of olive oil on the top to keep the digestion going. And it's going to get into the upper session shortly. Now, with this upper session, I've got a fair bit more back than chest. I've got an extra movement here, an extra 4 sets compared to the chest work, actually. Because back volume's at 20 sets per week. Chest is at 11. 11 for delt as well. 12 quads. 10 glutes and hams. 7 biceps because they're a pretty strong point. 8 triceps because that's all my elbows can handle. And then 6 calves, which I usually skip, and 6 abs as well. No, I do calves some of the times. It depends if my ankle's playing up or if they're feeling particularly big that week. So obviously with back being a bit more of a focus area, I've got a bit more volume spread across a few more exercises. Main focus is some stuff that I enjoy. This is the part where I ram on about, you know, bending over with heavy weight being fucking key to it. No, I just like the exercise. It suits my anatomy well and I can perform it. So I'm going to do a bent over row. And when that changes, I won't do it anymore. And that's fine. It's okay. Let's get into the session.
If you think reverse banding an exercise makes it easier, then you're just doing it wrong. So before I added this band to the movement, I was pressing 50 kilos in total on the Smith machine. This band behind me here takes off 20 to 25 kilos at the bottom of the movement. Now I've got 70 kilos on the bar, which means that as it comes down, the band takes some of the load off. I still have 50 kilos at the bottom. It's still just as tough in that lengthened position. But as I go through the press and I get stronger just due to structural stuff that's going on, I get more of a challenge through the movement. So banding is not easier. You're just shit at doing it. If you want to feel more pecs on a converging chest press like this, then one of the best things that you can do is adjust your hand position, okay? Because as we bring the arms in, what that's going to mean is you converge more as you go through the movement. You get further into that shortened range, which tends to be associated with a hell of a lot more contraction and feeling within the muscle. If you like more tips when it comes to growing your chest, just DM me the word pecs and I'll send you my free video guide on the topic. It's not some boring PDF that other coaches hand out, which they probably didn't even make. I hate reading. I know you hate reading, so you want to check this out.
Soldier. Soldier.
So this is my first session after a 10-day deload, something like that. So you'll notice that I'm not pushing the intensity quite as much as usual, I'm not making so much noise, pulling so many stupid faces, that sort of thing, just because very first session back, my body's going to be really sensitive to all this stuff and getting a good pump, weight connection to everything. Injury in my arm is not bothering me too much. Basically, a couple of weeks ago, I got some sort of pain here. Obviously, had the nagging stuff around my hamstring, which I've told you guys about before, and it's pretty much there. So it's just a case of not absolutely taking the piss, slowly easing back into training, 1 or 2 reps in reserve and everything, and then we'll slowly nudge that up over time as I get into prep as well. No matter how good an exercise is, there comes a point with anything where you have to change it out. I can feel that I'm getting towards the end of the road with the dumbbell rows here. I progressed them up from like 24 kilos at the start of February 2024 when I added them in. Then I'm up to 40 when I'm sort of at peak performance. I'm doing 38 this week because it's a deload week, going for slightly lower weights on things. As I said, a few reps in the tank, or I might keep the weight the same and then purposefully reduce like 2-3 reps from it. sort of thing. And I can feel that I'm at the end of the road with these, so I might swap them over for another unchest supported row. I might find a chest supported thing as I get in towards prep. It just depends what's most suited at the time.
I get a lot of hate about blood flow restriction training because it's not optimal. Mechanical tension's the main thing that matters. Metabolic stress doesn't build any muscle, all of those sorts of things. But the truth is, do you know what's the most anabolic thing ever? Not being in pain. Being able to take a tissue close to failure without feeling like this guy is going to explode. So that's why I use these. It stops the blood coming back out of the limb via the veins because it cuts that off with these, but it more can still get in with the arteries, which gives me this wicked sort of pump sensation and also stops me like fully recovering between the sets. So it limits load, which means that I can actually go to failure without elbows exploding. Now, if your elbows explode all the time, I've got more tips like that in my free arm growth guide, and all you need to do is DM me the word arms for access to that. Post-workout meal is all eaten there. I do normally have some pineapple with the beef, rice, veggies as normal. Got some honey on top of there as well and a squares bar. But unfortunately, I have ran out, so I'm just going to have some extra, pardon me, cherries later with my meal because I like cherries and they're nice. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, my plans for prep coming up is we're starting on the 20th of March. So we'll probably get one more YouTube video in before then. It's about a month away from now. And I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't competed in 3 years. I want to come top 3, maybe do finals. If I win a show, I will. If not, then book some nice holidays and not spend the rest of the time in prep. I mean, so far I've got the Algarve, so I'm going to go and try and find Madeleine McCann. Probably not very good at that. And then going to Krakow and Anfield, which should be lovely. I've got a weird definition of lovely, but I like history, and that's interesting. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, plans for prep, 20-week prep. I've got about 15 to 20 pounds to lose. Going to do a BMBF show in the start of August, and then back-to-back WMBF and UKDFBA in September. So that will give me sort of a month to improve a little bit, get a bit more fat off before those ones, or if I'm ready already, it will just be a case of maintaining that condition, eating a bit more food, reducing the expenditure and the stress. So we'll see what happens, but very much looking forward to it. It's going to be good, and hopefully you guys follow along. So last meal, and then that is a video done. Please stick around. Just about finishing up the final meal now, waiting for my toast to do its thing in the toaster. I've got the berries here, just about to pop some cereal on those. So this brings the total for the calories at 3,400. As I said earlier, 170 protein, 550 carb, and 65 fat, which is a decent amount of food. It's not as much food as I've ever eaten in my life, but the last time I was eating this amount, I was probably 10 pounds heavier than I am, and that just shows that from
push up to push up, things can change a little bit. Like the most amount of food I've ever eaten was 4,000 calories, and I haven't had to go there again. So don't get into your bulk and think, yeah, I need to add 200 calories every 2 weeks. Like you don't adapt that quickly. Things can be different, push up to push up. So do not worry. Now, if you've enjoyed the video, if you like the way that I do things, how I approach stuff, and would like some help from me, oh, I've overdone the toast a little bit there, then pop me a message and I'll walk you through how the coaching process works, okay?